Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining. Let's start with Kirtan. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने नामस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय जगद्गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपदा गीता गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल Hare Krishna, Dhanvat Pranam. Thank you all for joining. Let's continue our reading. We are on chapter 9, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Lila. And the chapter was started yesterday by Mataji. It's entitled The Deliverance of Gopinath Patnaik. And till verse 25 was covered yesterday. So we'll start with verse 26. So Gopinath Patnaik, as we heard yesterday, uh, he's uh, he's the son of Bhavanand Rai, and Bhavanand Rai had five sons. One of them was Ramanand Rai, and Gopinath Patnaik is one of the sons. And he is involved in a problem with the prince because because of some money that was due from him. He was not able to pay, but then he was willing to sell his horses for a fair price and pay the amount. But because he said something which the prince did not like because of a habit that the prince had. So he gets into some trouble with the prince. So and his life is in danger. So that's where this chapter is. So let's start reading from 26 onwards. Devotees who would like to read, please raise their hands. So yesterday's 24th verse, it was mentioned that the prince had a personal idiosyncrasy of turning his neck and facing the sky, looking here and there again and again. And Gopinath Patnaik, he criticized the prince. And he was unafraid because the king was very kind towards him. But we'll see how he criticizes the prince in today's section. We'll read from 9.26 onwards. Yeah, Sumati Mataji, you can read 5 verses till 30. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. 26. हमारा घोड़ा ग्रीवाना फिराया ऊर्ध्वे नाही छाया ताटे घोड़ारा मूल्या घाटी karite nayuyaya. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gopinatha Patnayaka said, "My horses never turn their necks or look upward. Therefore, the price for them should not be reduced." Text 27. शुनी राजपुत्र मने क्रोध उपजिला राजा रथाई याई बाहुला गानी करीला. Translation. Hearing this criticism, the prince became very angry. Going before the king, he made some false allegations against Gopinath Patnayaka. Text 28. Khaudi nahi dibe bedaya chadma kari आज्ञा देहा यादि चांगे chadaya lai kaudi. Translation. This Gopinath Patnayaka, he said, is unwilling to pay the money due. Instead, he is squandering it under some pretext. If you issue an order, I can put him on the changa and thus realize the money. Text 29. Raja bale ye bhala sei kara yaya ye upaye kaudi pai kara se upaya. Translation. The king replied, "You can adopt whatever means you think best. Any device by which you can somehow or other realize the money is all right." Text 30. Rajaputra asithare change kadaila kadaga uppare felaite tale kadaga patila. Translation. Thus, the prince went back, raised Gopinath Patnayaka onto the platform of the Changa and spread swords below upon which to throw him. Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So the prince was quoting a very less price for the horses of Gopinath Patnaik, and that's why Gopinath Patnaik, he says that he makes fun of the prince in a way, or criticizes the prince, because he says that my horses should fetch a fair price because they don't turn their necks or look upwards. Therefore, the price for them should not be reduced. Now, this, it's directed towards the prince, so the prince gets very angry and he goes to the king and he makes some false allegations. And he says that he's squandering the money, he's not giving the money that is due to you. This was not true. He was not squandering the money, and he was actually, Gopinath Patnaik was willing to sell his horses for the fair price, and then whatever balance is was remaining, he was going to pay that. He was willing to do that. But because he irked the prince, so the prince goes and makes these false allegations to the king. And he says that I have a means of getting the money out of Gopinath Patnaik. I'll put him on a changa, and in this way I'll realize the money. He doesn't tell that I have an intention of killing Gopinath Patnaik. And the king just thinks that, okay, whatever means you have to adopt, just get my money back. He doesn't know that the prince has the intention of killing Gopinath Patnaik. So he just makes false allegations, he makes a false statement, gets the order from the king, and he comes and he puts, Gopinath Patnaik on the changa. And there are swords underneath, and he's put him in this very precarious situation where he's almost losing his life. Okay, yeah. Now let's read forward. Chandana Mataji, please read 5 verses. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranams.
Pranam.
Text 31. शून्य प्रभु कहे किचु करी प्रणय रोषा राजा कौड़ी दीते नारे राजा राकी बदोषा. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After hearing this explanation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied with affectionate anger, Gopinatha Patnayaka does not want to pay the king the money that is due. The Lord said, how then is the king at fault in punishing him? Text 32. राजा विलासाधिकाया नाही राजा भाया धारी ना तू यारे दिया करे ना ना व्याया. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gopinatha Patnayaka is in charge of collecting money on behalf of the government, but he misappropriates it. Not fearing the king, he squanders it to see dancing girls. Text 33. Ei chatura sei Kuruka Raja Vishaya Raja Dravya Sodhi Paya Tara Karuka Vyaya. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If one is intelligent, let him perform service to the government, and after paying the government, he can spend whatever money is left. Text 34. Hena kale are loka aila dhaya vani na वाणीनाथी सवम वाणीनाथे सवम शेलाए गेला बाधिया. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. At the time, another person came there in great haste, bringing the news that Vaninatha Raya and his entire family had been arrested. Text 35. प्रभु काहे राजा पाने लेखा द्रव्य लाई बा आमी विरक्त सन्यासी ताहे की कारी बा. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, the king must personally realize the money that is due, but I am but a sannyasi or a member of the renounced order. What can I do? Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, this whole conversation, the whole problem is being stated to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gets a little angry. It's affectionate anger only, when someone dear to us makes a mistake, then we do want to correct them. And so Mahaprabhu says that if he has not paid money that is due to the king, then he is at fault. And then, if one is actually intelligent, then they should first give what is due to the government, and then whatever is left, they can use it for their own purpose. And while this conversation is going on, another person comes and he says that Vaninath Rai, when he was another son of Bhavanand Rai, so a brother of Gopinath Patnaik, so his family and he himself, they have also been arrested. So Mahaprabhu just says that, if the king has to realize his money, he will do whatever is required to get the money back. And I am just a sannyasi. I don't have any involvement in these monetary matters. I am a person of renounced order. What can I do? So Mahaprabhu is saying that he's a sannyasi, and sannyasi is not supposed to be involved in these kind of matters. So what can he do? And this with this whole interaction, this whole pastime, our seniors explained that because we are on the path of devotion, we are sadhakas, that does not mean that we are above the law. So if, like, for example, in this case, this was something due to the king. In our cases, we have our obligation in the form of taxes. So it's not that, we are above all that and we can do, we can just hide our income and not pay taxes. The tax planning is another thing where we plan our investments and all in such a way that we get deductions, and legally we reduce the amount of tax we have to pay. That is a different thing. But, hiding income or not paying taxes on time, all these kind of things, or bribing, all these kind of corruption kind of things, devotees should stay away from these things. Okay, people in the world, they do lots of things, and when just to evade taxes, they will do a lot of different things. But devotees should not evade taxes. Whatever is legally due from our side, we should pay that to the government. Okay. Yeah. Let's read forward 36 to 40. Sudha Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Pranam.
Pranam Mataji.
तबे स्वरूपादीयत प्रभुर भक्त गणा प्रभुर चरणे सबे कायल निवेदना. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Then all the devotees, headed by Swarupa Damodara Goswami, fell at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and submitted the following plea. Text 37. रामानंद राय गोष्ठी सभा तुम्हारा दासा तुम्हारा उचित नहे ऐचन उदासा. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All the members of Ramananda Rai's family are your eternal servants. Now they are in danger. It is not befitting for you to be indifferent to them in this way. Text 38. शुनि महाप्रभु कहे सक्रोध वचने मोरे आज्ञा देह सबे यन राजस्थाने. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After hearing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke in an angry mood. You want to order me to go to the king? He said. Text 39. तोमा सभारा येई मत राजा तानी याना कौड़ी मागेला मुनि आंचल पाटिया. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Your opinion is that I should go to the king's palace and spread my cloth to beg money from him? Text 40. पांचागंडार गंडार पात्र हय संन्यासी ब्राह्मण मागी लेवा केने दिबे 2 lakh kahana. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Of course, a sannyasi or brahmana may beg for up to 5 gandas, but why should he be granted the inappropriate sum of 2 lakh kahanas of conch shells? Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So, this is a very difficult situation for the whole family, and so the devotees are praying to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Mahaprabhu, this, now his brother has also been arrested along with his whole family, and it's not that just a few devotees, but all the devotees headed by even Swarup Damodar Goswami. They are all falling at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, and they are requesting him that Mahaprabhu, this whole family, they are all devotees. Ramanand Rai's whole family are your eternal servants, and they are in danger, Mahaprabhu. So please don't be udasin. Udasin means indifferent. So please don't have this indifferent attitude. Please do something so that they can be saved. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's anger even increases even more, and he's like, "What do you want me to do? You want me to go to the king and beg that he should release Gopinath Patnaik? You want that I should go to the king's palace, I should spread my cloth and beg money from him?" And then Mahaprabhu says that, okay, a sannyasi may beg from a king, but up to 5 gandas, there is a limit to what a sannyasi can beg for. And this amount is very, very huge. So how can I go to the king and beg for this amount? How can I do this? Okay, now then another person is coming with further news. So we'll read that now. Gandhi Mati Mataji, 5 verses. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
9.42 sloka number 41. Yena kale hara loka aila dana kade gara upare gopinate diktiche tariya. Translation Srila Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada. Then another person came with the news that Gopinatha had already been set up to be thrown upon the points of the swords. Text 42. Suni Prabhura Gana Prabhure Kare Anunaya Prabhu Kahe Ami Bakishuka Ama Haita Kichunaya. Translation. Hearing this news, all the devotees again appealed to the Lord, but the Lord replied, I am a beggar. It is impossible for me to do anything about this. Text 43. Take Raksha Karite Yadi Haya Sabaramani Sabe Mele Jana Ka Jagannatera Kacharani. Translation. Therefore, if you want to save him, you should all pray together at the lotus feet of Jagannatha.
Text 44. Ishvara Jagannatha Yandra Haite Hate Sarva Hatam Kartum Anyata Karita Samartha. Translation: Lord Jagannatha is the supreme personality of Godhead. He possesses all potencies. Therefore, he is able to act freely and can do and undo whatever he likes. Text 45. Itan yadi mahaprabhu yeketa kahila hari chandana patra yayi rajera kahila. Translation: When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied in this way, an officer named Harichandra Patra went to the king and spoke with him. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. So the devotees are pleading to the Lord that, Lord, please don't have this indifferent attitude. And the whole family is surrendered to you. They are devotees of yours. So please help them out. And then at that time, another person brings the news that, the things are reaching the final stage. Gopinath has already been set up and he's just about to be thrown upon the points of the swords. So it's just reaching the climax. And because this is now even more urgent situation, so the devotees again start pleading to Lord Chaitanya that please, Lord, help him out. And then Mahaprabhu says that I am a beggar. I cannot do anything about this. It is impossible for me. But it's not like Mahaprabhu just says that and leaves that. He tells them what to do. He says that if you want to save him, then you should all pray at the lotus feet of Lord Jagannath together. And Lord Jagannath, he's a supreme Lord, he's Param Bhagavan. He has all the potencies. Therefore, he is able to act freely and he can do whatever he likes. He can do and undo whatever he likes. So, if you want to save his life, if you want to really help him, don't ask me to do anything, but you pray to Lord Jagannath. Now, at this time, what happens is that there was an officer named Harichandan Patra. He goes to the king. Now, see, the whole problem was because the prince was irritated with what Gopinath Patnaik had said. He had gone to the king, made false allegations, made a false statement, and then because of that, this whole incident is going to take place. But now the king is not yet aware that the intention of the prince is to actually kill Gopinath Patnaik. He needs to be told, and this is done by Harichandan Patra. He goes to the king and he speaks to the king. So now we'll see what he tells the king and then what happens. Yeah, Padma Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Text
Krishna.
46. गोपीनाथ पटनायक सेवक तुम्हारा सेवक प्राण दंड नहीं व्यवहारा. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After all, he said, Gopinatha Patanayaka is your faithful servant. To condemn a servant to death is not good behavior. 47. विशेष तारा थानी कौदी बाकी हया प्राण नीले की बात प्राण नीले की बालाभा निज धन शया. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His only fault is that he owes some money to the government. If he is killed, however, what profit will there be? The government will be the loser, for it will not get the money. Text 48. Yatha ratha mulya goda laha yabe baki haya kreme dibe vyartha prana ke nelaya. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It would be better to take the horses for a proper price and let him gradually repay the balance. Why are you killing him unnecessarily? Text 49. राजा कहे यही बात हमी नहीं जानी प्राण के ने लाई बात तारा द्रव्य चाही हमी. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The king answered in surprise, I did not know about all this. Why should his life be taken? I only want the money from him. Text 50. Tumi ai karatana sarva samadhana द्रव्य ऐसे आरा रहता prana. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Go there and adjust everything. I want only the payment, not his life. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So the whole problem started because Gopinath Patnaik, he had to pay some money to the king. So Harichandan Patra goes to the king and explains everything that Gopinath Patnaik, he has made a mistake, but he's your faithful servant. And his mistake is not so big that you are going to kill him. His fault is that he owes money to the government. But if you kill him, then you will not recover that money also. So, what is the whole point? What is the benefit for you? It is better that you take the horses that he is giving for a fair price. And then, if there is still some balance remaining, he will repay that also. So, in this way, you will get your dues and the person will not die also. And now, definitely, the king is in surprise because he didn't know the plan of the prince was to kill Gopinath Patnaik. So he says, I didn't know about all this. And why should we kill him? His life is not to be taken. I just want the money. So you please make all the adjustment. Stop this thing. I only want my payment, not his life. Okay. So in this way, the life of Gopinath Patnaik will be saved. Yeah. Next, Krishnamurti Prabhu. Think network problem. Karpagavali Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Karpagavali Mataji, able to hear me? Shobha Mataji, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, are you able to hear me?
Mataji,
Yeah.
I will. Mataji. நான் வேற
Okay.
குரூப்ல இருக்கேன்னா நான் பார்த்துட்டு சொல்றேன்.
Okay, Lalita Vinodini Mataji then.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna.
One minute, Mataji. Yeah. Text 51. तबे हरि चंदन आसी जाने र कहिला चांगे हे ते गोपीनाथे शीघ्र नाम आइला. Translation by Devendra Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Harichandana then returned and informed the prince of the king's desire, and immediately Gopinatha Pattanayaka was taken down from the Kyanga. द्रव्य देह राजे मागे उपाया पुछीला यातार्थ मूल्य घोड़ा लहा तेनाथ कहिला. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Then he was told that the king demanded the money due him and asked what means he would adopt to pay it. Kindly take my horses, he replied, for a proper price. क्रमे क्रमे sorry Mataji. क्रमे क्रमे दिमो आरायत किछु पारी आविचारे प्राणालह की बलि ते पारी. Translation by Devendra Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I shall gradually pay the balance as I can without consideration. However, you were going to take my life. What can I say? Yeah, Krishna. यथार्थ मूल्य करी तबे सब घोड़ा लैला आराद्रव्यरा मुद्दती करी घरे पतैला. Translation by Divine Krishna Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Then the government took all the horses for a proper price. A time was set for payment of the balance, and Gopinatha Pattanayaka was released. इत प्रभु से मनुष्य रे प्रश्न कैला वाणी न तकी करे या बेभांदिया अनिला. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired from the messenger what was Vaninatha doing when he was arrested and brought there. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
So finally, this whole incident is coming to an end because Harichandan Patra had explained everything to the king. So the king then says that I just want my money. I don't want him to die. So then Harichandan returns, informs the prince of the king's order, and then Gopinath Patnaik is brought down from the Changa. And he's told that the king has demanded money. So he says, okay, yeah, this is what he was agreeing to earlier also. That you take my horses for a proper price, and then whatever is the balance, you set a time limit within which I will repay it. Now, you were going to take my life for that. What can I say? So he's totally at a loss, right? But by Lord Jagannath's mercy, his life is saved. So then the government took all the horses for a proper price, and a time was set for payment of the balance, and Gopinath Patnaik was finally released. So
Mataji,
now,
call me.
yes, yes, Mataji.
Haribol, you call my name, Mataji?
Yeah, I was calling your name for reading, Mataji, at that time.
Haribol, Haribol. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Next, you can read, Mataji, once we finish. So
Can I
Chaitanya
start now,
Mahaprabhu
Mataji?
now. Yeah, Mataji, I'll just explain.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
just discuss
Sure,
55 and then. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu now asked the messenger that what was Vaninath Rai doing when he was arrested and brought there, right? Because he's the brother of Gopinath Patnaik, and he and his whole family were also arrested and brought there. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked the messenger that what was Vaninath Rai doing when he was arrested and brought there. Yeah, Shobha Mataji, you can read Mataji, 5 verses.
Haribol, Mataji.
Hare
Srila
Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai, Krishna Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, text 56. से काहे वाणी नाता निर्भया लाया कृष्ण नामा हरे कृष्णा काबे अविश्रामा. Translation based Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The messengers replied, he was fearlessly, incessantly chanting the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Text 57. Shankya lagi dui hate, ankulite lekha, sahasrati purna, Hare, angikate rekha. Translation. He counted the chants on the fingers of both hands, and after he had finished chanting 1,000 times, he would make the mark on his body. Text 58. Suni Mahaprabhu Haila Parama Ananda He Bujite Pare Gaurera Kripa Chandak Bandha. Translation. Hearing this news, the Lord was very pleased. Who can understand the mercy of the Lord upon his devotee? Text 59. हेनकाले काशी मिश्रा आलीला प्रभु स्थाने प्रभु थानरे काहे किचु शोधेगा वचने. Translation. At that time, Kashi Mishra came to the residence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the Lord talked with him with some agitation. 660. Niharati te nari yamu alala nada nana upadrava ihans napai choyaka. I cannot stay here any longer. Else. Lord said, I shall go to Alalanaka. There are too many disturbances here, and I cannot get any rest. Haribol Dandavats Mataji, thank you.
Sarvapranam Mataji, thank you so much. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had asked the messenger that what was Vaninath Rai doing when he was arrested and brought there. And the messenger replied that he was fearless and he was constantly chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And this really pleased Mahaprabhu. And the messenger said that he was counting on the fingers of both hands, and after he had finished chanting 1,000 times, then he would make a mark on his body. So he was constantly chanting and he was fearless. And hearing this, the Lord is very pleased. And the Lord is full of mercy for his devotees. He is constantly thinking of their welfare, their advancement. So, who can really understand the mercy of the Lord upon his devotees? It's really inconceivable. But after this whole incident happens, when Kashi Mishra comes to meet the Lord, now Kashi Mishra is very respectable. He has a very respectable post in the government. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was in Puri, he was staying at the Gambhira. That was his residence. That was also, actually, it was part of Kashi Mishra's house only. So he is very, very important person. And when he comes to meet Lord Chaitanya, then Lord Chaitanya is agitated and he says that I want to go to Alalnath. I cannot stay here any longer. There are many disturbances here and I cannot get any rest. So Mahaprabhu next will explain, why he wants to leave Puri and go to Alalnath. Yeah, Karpagavali Mataji. There's some network problem with Mataji. Krishnamurti Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, pranam. Yeah, please read Prabhu.
भावानंद रायेर गोष्टी करे राजा विषय नाना प्रकारे करे तारा राजा द्रव्य व्यवा. Translation by Sri Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. All the family members of Bhavananda Raja are engaged in government service, but they spend the government's revenue in various ways. Text 62. राजा की दोषा राजा निज द्रव्य छाया जीते नारे द्रव्य दंड हमारे जंदिया दंड हमारे जनाया. Translation by Sri Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. What is the fault on the part of the king? He wants the government's money. However, when they are punished for failing to pay the government its due, they come to me to release them. Text 63. Raja Gopinath Yadi Change Chadila Chari Bare Kloke Asi Mora Jana Ila. Translation by Sri Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. When the king put Gopinatha Patnayaka on the Changa, messengers came 4 times to inform me about the incident. Text 64. Bhikshuka sannyasi ami nirjana vasi amaya dukha deya nija dukha kai asi. Translation by Sri Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. As a beggar sannyasi, a mendicant, I wish to live alone in a solitary place. But these people come to tell me about their unhappiness and disturb me. Text 65. आज तारे जगन्नाथा करीला रक्षणा काली के राभि के यादी नादी वे राजा धना. Translation by Sri Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Jagannatha has saved him once from death today, but if tomorrow he again does not pay what he owes the treasury, who will give him protection? Purport by Sri Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead will certainly protect a devotee who does something sinful accidentally, as the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 9.30 and 31. अपि चेसु दुराचारो भजते मामनन्य भक्त साधुरेव समन्तव्यः सम्यक् व्यवस्थितो सः. क्षिप्रं भवति धर्मात्मा शाश्वत शांतिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्तः प्रणश्यति. Even if one commits the most abominable actions, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. However, if a devotee or so-called devotee purposefully commits sinful activities continually in the hope that Krishna will give him protection, Krishna will not protect him. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Kali ke rahibe yadi na dibe raja dhana. Jagannatha have saved Gopinatha Patnayaka from being killed by the king today. But if he commits the same offense again, who will give him protection? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thus warns all such foolish devotees that Jagannath will not protect them if they... Little bit scroll. If they continue to commit offenses. Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Pranam. Thank you. So Mahaprabhu says that there are so many disturbances here. All the family members of Bhavan and Raya are engaged in government service. But if they are not paying the dues to the government, if they are spending the government's revenues in various ways, then what is the fault of the king? The king will want to recover the money that is due to the government. So when they are punished for not paying what is due to the government, they come to me to release me. So 4 times messengers came when Gopinath Patnaik was on the Changa. 4 times they came to inform me about the incident. I am just a mendicant, I am a sannyasi. He says that I am a beggar mendicant. I want to live alone in a solitary place. But these people, they keep coming and telling me about their unhappiness, and that disturbs me. So, and today Lord Jagannath has saved him. But if tomorrow again he does not pay what is due to the king, and then who will give him protection? What will happen to him then? So Prabhupada explains in the purport by quoting these very beautiful verses from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where the Lord gives us reassurance that he will certainly protect a devotee who does something sinful accidentally. This verse is talking about an accidental mistake, an accidental fall down, not a purposeful mistake, not something which is done intentionally. So Prabhupada explains that even if one commits the most abominable actions, by mistake, if he is engaged in the bhakti, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is still to be considered saintly. The Lord still gives protection. He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. So, this is what Lord Krishna is saying in 9.30 and 31, which Prabhupada explains in the purport. And this is just for accidental mistakes. Prabhupada explains that if a so called devotee commits sinful activities purposefully with an intention, and he thinks that, oh, Krishna will still give him protection, then Krishna will not protect such a person. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said that Kali ke rakhibe yadi na dibe rajadhana, that Jagannath has saved Gopinath Patnaik from being killed by the king today. But if he makes the same mistake again, if he commits the same offense again, who will give him protection? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, through this verse, he is warning all those people who think that Jagannath will still protect them if they continue to commit offenses. It's one thing to make an accidental mistake. Everyone is human, to err is human. So that is different. But a devotee who makes the accidental mistake really repents it very, very much, very deeply. And that repentance the Lord sees. So that accidental mistake the Lord can forgive and still take care of the devotee, but it should not become a habit. That is what the Lord is warning, and it should not be an intentional mistake. See, it's one of the offenses to the holy name also, right? To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. That if we think that, oh, anyways, I'm chanting Hare Krishna, if I commit offenses, if I commit sins, the holy name will still counteract that. That is wrong. That mentality is wrong. And Lord Chaitanya, through this pastime, is warning against that. Yeah, let's move forward now. Karpagavali Mataji, are you able to unmute and read now?
Hare Krishna Mataji, sorry for interrupting Radhika here. Just one doubt on this. Whatever you told is right. So where I'm having a doubt is this. Can I ask you now, or should I wait for the?
Yes, Mataji, tell me.
So actually, the 2 lakh amount, whatever, for which he replaced horses, all that I understand. But overall, why was there a disconnect at all? Because was it that he was supposed to pay tax and he didn't pay, or since he was handling the treasury, he manhandled the funds? I mean, sorry, I am not able to get a grip of that.
Yeah, Mataji, that amount was due. And even before, the prince came and he asked for the money, he actually should have paid the amount already. He had horses. He could have sold the horses and already paid the amount, probably approached for more time if he did not have the funds. So that is something that he should have done on his own before this whole problem came about. That's my
So this money
understanding.
was more like a tax. Was that the amount, or was it a
No, I
part of
think
the
he
king?
was. Yeah, I think it was because he was in administration. Probably he was collecting that amount from somewhere, which then he was supposed to, take
Remit,
it forward to the king, something like
which
that.
he did not. Got it.
Yeah, which he did not do, which he should have done timely. Basically, that is what the Lord is saying, na, that if the amount was due, he should have already paid the amount
It's more like a
instead of,
bank, Mataji. Like he collects it and he should have surrendered to the bank. Like that, he should have collected the money and handed
yeah,
over to the king. Rather, he sort of
to
used
the
it for something else.
administration. Yeah, he
Got
should
it.
have he should have given it to the king, not kept it with himself. So
Sure.
this, because he says that I do not have the money, take my horses, we can understand that maybe there was a shortage of money which he had. So probably he should have communicated that, or sold his horses already and tried to pay whatever he could. So basically, this is all enacted to to have us learn things from.
Clear, Mataji. Just to get a grip of it. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Sorry.
Mataji, you can only read. I think Karkavali Mataji is having some issues probably.
Sure, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Vishaira vata shuni shugaya mana tate rahi mora nahi prayojana. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. If I hear about the activities of the materialistic persons, my mind becomes agitated. There is no need for me to say, hear, and be disturbed in that way. Hare Krishna. Kashi Mishra kahe prabhura dariya charani tumi kene ei bate shobha karamani. Kashi Mishra caught hold of the Lord's lotus feet and said, "Why should you be agitated by these affairs?" Hare Krishna. Sanyasi virakta tomara khasane sambandha vyavahara lagi toma bhaje se jnana anda. You are a renowned sannyasi. What connections do you have? One who worships you for some material purpose is blind to all knowledge. Puppet, becoming a devotee of Lord, Hare Krishna, to serve materialistic purpose is a great mistake. Many people become show bottle devotees for material profits. Indeed, materialistic persons sometimes take to professional devotional service and keep Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as a means of livelihood. None of this, however, is approved. In the book known as Saptashati, as mentioned by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, one can discover how a person worshipping Goddess Durga begs her for different varieties of material profits. Such activities are very popular among people in general, but they are attempts of foolish, blind people, saying jnana anda. A materialistic does not actually know why one should become a devotee. A devotee's only concern is to satisfy Supreme Personality of Godhead. First, pure devotional service is defined by Srila Rupa Goswami. Anya Abhilashita Sunyam Jnana Karmani Anavritam Anukuleni Krishna Anushilanam Bhaktir Uttama. One should be completely free from all the material desires and should serve Krishna simply to please him. When people become interested in their own sense gratification, bhukti mukti siddhi kami, some of them desire to enjoy the material world to the fullest extent. Some of them desire to be liberated and merge into the existence of Brahman. And others want to perform magic through mystic power and thus become incarnations of God. These are all against the principles of devotional service. One must be free from all material desires. The desire of impersonalists to merge into the existence of Brahman is also material because such an impersonalist wants to gratify his senses by merging into the existence of Krishna instead of serving his lotus feet. Even if such a person merges into the Brahman effulgence, he falls down again into the material existence. As stated in 10th canto, 2nd chapter, 32nd verse, Aruhi krichrena param padam tata patan tadona drita yushmad angrayah. Because Mayavadi philosophers have no information regarding the transcendental service of the Lord, even after attaining liberation from a material activity and merging into the Brahman effulgence, they must come down again to the material world. 69. Hare Krishna. Tomara bhajana pale, tomara prema dana, Vishaya lagi tomaya baje se murka jana. Kasi Mishra continued, if one engages in devotional service for your satisfaction, this will result in this increasingly awakening his dormant love for you. But if one engages in your devotional service for material purpose, he should be considered as a number one fool. Hare Krishna. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur comments that there are many materialistic persons who become preachers, gurus, religionists, or philosophers only for the sake of maintaining a high standard of living and sense gratification for themselves and their families. Sometimes they adopt the dress of a sannyasi or preacher. They train some of their family members as lawyers and continually seek help from a high court to acquire riches on the fear of maintaining temples. Although such persons may call themselves preachers like in Vrindavana or Navadvipa, and also print many religious books, it is all for the same purpose, namely to earn a living to maintain their wives and children. They may also professionally recite the Bhagavatam or other scriptures, worship the deity in the temple, and initiate disciples. Making a show of devotional paraphernalia, they may also collect money from the public and use it to cure the disease of some family member or near relative. Sometimes they become Babajis or collect money on a plea of worshipping the poor, whom they call Daridra Narayana, or for social and political upliftment. Thus, they spread a network of business schemes to collect money for sense gratification by cheating people in general who have no knowledge of pure devotional service. Such cheaters cannot understand that by offering devotional service to Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, one can be elevated to the position of eternal servitude to the Lord, which is even greater than the position of Brahma and other demigods. Unfortunately, fools have no understanding of the perpetual pleasure of devotional service. Hare Krishna. Tomalagi Ramananda Raya Tyaga Kaila, Tomalagi Sanatana Vishaya Cha Dila. Hare Krishna. This is only for your sake that Ramananda Rai resigned the governorship of South India and Sanatana Goswami gave up his post as minister. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Mataji, Hare Krishna. So Kashi Mishra, obviously, hearing this desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he wants to go to Alalnath, he's obviously, he wants to stop that. So he's going to give a lot of different reasons, or he's going to talk about different things to the Lord. But the Lord, we'll hear that later. But verse 66 is where the Lord is saying that I am a sannyasi, when I hear all these things about materialistic things, because sannyasi means they have left all these things. But he says that when I'm hearing all these things, that my mind is getting agitated, and there is no need for me to stay here and be disturbed in that way. So I can just go to Alalnath and I'll be away from all these problems. But hearing this, obviously, Kashi Mishra is shocked and he wants to stop this. So he tells the Lord, he holds the lotus feet of the Lord and he says that, why should you be agitated by these affairs? And you are a sannyasi and you're not really responsible for all these things. You don't have any connections. One who worships you for some material purpose is blind to all knowledge. So that means the Lord should be worshipped not for any materialistic gain, but for the pleasure of the Lord. That should be ultimately, that should be the aim. So Prabhupada explains in this very beautiful purport that becoming a devotee of the Lord for any materialistic reason is a great mistake. Because it's like you do something which is like the best thing that you can do, but what you are expecting out of it is something very, very small as compared to the ultimate result of devotional service, which is pure love of Krishna, which frees one from all miseries, all sorrows. So one can get that. But instead of aiming for that, we aim for some materialistic thing. So that is a great mistake. So Prabhupada says that, we should not become a show bottle devotee who is doing bhakti, outwardly doing all kinds of things. But the intention is not to please the Lord, but, for some material profits, one is doing that. So some materialistic people, take devotional service as a profession, and this becomes their means of livelihood. But this is not approved. Then Prabhupada quotes from his Guru Maharaj's book, Saptashati, by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, says that one can discover how a person worshipping the goddess Durga begs her for different varieties of material profit. Such activities are very popular among people in general, but they are the attempts of foolish, blind people. So just, worshipping for some material profit is not recommended by the acharyas or by the authorized scriptures. And a materialistic does not actually know why one should become a devotee because they have not yet experienced, they don't understand that this is the greatest treasure. So they are really stuck at the materialistic level itself. That okay, you do this puja, you do this yagya, and this material gain comes, and that's it. Their thinking is limited. Okay. But Prabhupada says that a devotee's only concern is to satisfy the Supreme Lord. And Srila Rupa Goswami has mentioned that this beautiful verse where he says that Anya Bilashita Shunyam, that there should be no other desire, no other material desire. Jnana karmadya navritam. So it is, one doesn't want anything else, but the only thing is to serve Krishna, to please Krishna. When people become interested in their own sense gratification, whether it is mukti, bhukti, siddhi, mukti, bhukti, siddhi, kami, whether one desires any materialistic profits or one desires to perform any, magic through mystic power, or some desire to get liberated and merge into the Brahman existence of the Lord. So whether one is a karmi, jnani or yogi, this is not recommended. So this is very lower level of understanding. These are all against the principles of devotional service, and one must be free from all material desires. So this desire to merge into the impersonal Brahman is also a materialistic desire. Okay. So the desire of an impersonalist to merge into the Brahman uh, is also material, because such an impersonalist wants to gratify his senses, his own senses, not Krishna's senses. So he wants to merge into the existence of Krishna instead of serving Krishna's lotus feet. That is why this desire of impersonal Brahman realization is also considered materialistic. And then, this we have read many times, that even if one attains to that stage, because it's just a stage where, okay, there is no sadness, there is no misery, but that anand of bhakti is not there. So the soul is active by nature. So such a person again falls down into material existence. Then Prabhupada quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:32 that because Mayavadi philosophers have no information regarding the transcendental service of the Lord, even after attaining liberation from material existence, material activities, merging into the Brahman effulgence, they must come down again to this material world. So that is not a permanent state also. So whether it is materialistic desires to satisfy senses here, or to gain Brahman effulgence, or to gain mystic siddhis, all these things are not conducive to bhakti. They are not recommended. And then in the next shloka, Kashi Mishra says that if one engages in bhakti for your satisfaction, then this will result in his increasingly awakening his dormant love for you. His prema bhakti will awaken if he is trying to serve you, if he is trying to work for your satisfaction. But if he does the sevas, all the devotional service for material purpose, then he's a number one fool. Because why is he a fool? Because he can get something which is way bigger, but he's only aspiring for something much smaller. And then Prabhupada is quoting in the purport by what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, that there are many materialistic people who become preachers, they become religionists, philosophers, but their only purpose is to get a high standard of living for themselves and for their families. They may even dress up like sannyasis, and they call themselves preachers. They may live there in Dham, Vrindavan, Navdeep, etc, but their whole intention is to just earn a livelihood. And they may also recite Bhagavatam professionally, worship the deity in the temple. They may even have disciples, but this is all just a show of devotional paraphernalia to collect money from the public, and to cure the disease of some family member or near relative. So basically, the intention is not Krishna's happiness, but the intention is their own, maintenance or their own sense gratification. So Prabhupada says that such people cannot understand bhakti to the Supreme Lord, and they cannot be elevated to the position of servant of the Lord, which is even greater than the position of Brahma and other demigods. So becoming a devotee of Krishna is such an elevated state, but unfortunately, fools who have no understanding of the perpetual pleasure of devotional service. Unfortunately, fools have no understanding of the perpetual pleasure of devotional service. Bhakti is very, very advanced, but unfortunate people don't understand that. Then Kashi Mishra will start giving examples of those devotees who are not materialistically motivated, who have given up so many things for Lord Chaitanya's service. So that will come in the next section, 70 onwards. So in 70th verse, he's saying that Ramanand Rai, he left his governorship, he resigned the governorship of South India. Sanatan Goswami gave up his post as a minister. So it's not that this place has only materialistic people. There are so many devotees who have done so much for you, my Lord. So he's saying all these things to convince Lord Chaitanya to give up his desire to go to Alnath and continue staying in Puri. But that we'll read tomorrow. Okay. So if any questions about today's discussion or any comments, any points you would like to speak about.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, what is bhukti? Bhukti.
Bhukti is sense gratification, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji, thank you.
Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, na? So Bhukti is
Yeah.
materialistic enjoyment, Mukti is impersonal liberation, and Siddhi is the mystic powers.
Yeah, these
Bhukti,
two I
Mukti,
understand.
Siddhi, yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
Bhogna, no? It comes from Bhogna, Bhukti.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we'll stop here. I'll see you all tomorrow then. Yeah, and
Hare
thank you
Krishna,
very
Mataji.
much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, विशेष चैतन्य चरित्र की जय, श्री कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी की जय,
गोस्वामी की जय।
स्वामी की जय, चैतन्य चरितामृत की
Hare
जय।
जय।
Thank you, Mataji. प्रणाम।
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
all. Thank you all so
Hare
much for
Krishna.
joining.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.